Okay, so the first two big hurdles, getting quorum and remembering.
Baking is. I know.
All right, welcome, everybody. I'm calling the meeting to order at 2:30. We finally got quorum by the skin of our teeth. I want to thank you all for being here because clearly we needed your presence here in order to have this meeting. Otherwise, we all sadly would have gone home, getting nothing done. For those of you who don't know, Christy is away. She's currently in Thailand right now. Where it is nice and warm, and she will not be answering my panic texts or emails. I made her promise not to answer anything that I send to her until she gets back. So I will be facilitating the meeting today. So please bear with me, help me out, take any and all suggestions and advice. I'm much more comfortable being the snarky sidekick in the back, taking attendance as opposed to being in this role, but here we go. It's done. So we did the first thing, we got quorum, we recorded, we were calling to order, and now we must approve the agenda. So agenda for the meeting today, thank you, Denise, for sending that out. I personally know what a pain it is. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda? You don't know?
We can just approve the
We
agenda.
can just approve the agenda.
Ask if, I don't know the language, but ask if, Leslie help me on
Any corrections to the
that.
agenda?
Yes, any corrections to the agenda?
No corrections to the agenda? Okay. As we look to Leslie online, so Leslie is our former parliamentarian, Erica is our incoming parliamentarian, Leslie is on a bus right now. She was supposed to be here, but because of weather, she is on the way, so we apologize in advance for bothering her trip. So we have approved. Okay, so approve the agenda. We're gonna move on to the minutes from the November 29th, 2023 meeting. They were sent out along with the Senate invitation. I hope you've all taken a look at the minutes. Do I have a motion or do I have any corrections to the minutes?
Anyone?
Any corrections to
I
the
see a
minutes?
hand.
Anybody on there?
Or is that the,
Oh,
is that the mouse?
oh, I think it's just a mouse, yeah. All right, no corrections? Anybody want to make a motion? We have the motion for the, we'll have to figure this out because
If there's no,
sometimes.
if there's no corrections, you can just say that the minutes are approved.
All right, no corrections, the minutes are approved. I do just want to point to one thing in the minutes. We are continuing to refine our minute taking, attendance taking, and vote recording. So you'll see in the most recent version of the minutes, there was a spreadsheet at the end, which is a recording of who was here. The modality in which you attended, whether you were here online or in person, and any roll call vote. We will record here, so we have your vote. This is something that in the past we just recorded and had on file. We didn't attach it to the minutes. But we're trying to be more transparent about voting and attendance and modality, so we're just gonna add it to the end of the minutes from now on. If you have any suggestions on how to improve it, whether to make it more accurate or just to improve how friendly it is to look at, let us know. This is our first attempt at adding the spreadsheet to the end. So that's the change in the minutes. Next up on the agenda, we have curriculum. So we had 3 items, informational items about articulation agreements that came through curriculum this week. Again, I hope you all took a look before now. Do I have a motion for curriculum?
Do I have a motion? No. I move.
I don't,
You have a
you
motion,
move.
right?
I'm not moving, it's somebody
Somebody
moving.
move.
Somebody has to make a motion. Somebody's moving. And so Diana's motion to approve the curriculum consent calendar. And we need a second. And Margaret has second. Do we have any discussion?
No, because with the consent calendar, there's no discussion on the floor.
You'd think with all of these years of taking minutes, it would seep in, but it's a totally different way of thinking. I'm so focused on the motion and the second, who does it? Okay, so we now need to proceed to roll call vote. For those of you who haven't been here for a curriculum vote, your vote is either aye to vote to approve the curriculum, no, or you can abstain. And we typically do a roll call vote. So Denise,
For clarification before I begin, am I calling everybody's name or just the people present in the room?
so you would need to call present and voting, whether they are in person or online.
Got it.
So just to complicate things even more,
Okay, all right. All right, Senator Carrera. Aye. Okay, Anthony Pappas.
Aye.
Senator DeCarlo. Okay. And I'm not calling for all.
unless the senator is not here.
Got it. And unless.
Right, so- Exactly. Yes, Lucy would be covering for Abdul, so she will be called for curriculum.
Got it. Okay, okay, Lucy Mangler. Senator Mangler. Okay, Senator Law.
Okay, one.
I think you skipped Daniel. Gertner, right above Lucy.
Got it, okay. Sorry about that.
Aye.
Senator Jamin.
Aye.
Oh, she's online.
Senator Samajo.
Aye.
Leslie?
She's a aye.
Oh, she says aye. Okay, just, I'm gonna, Leslie
Sorry,
in the
aye.
chat has reminded us that, especially during voting time, senators that are online need to keep their cameras on.
Okay, Senator Carr. Senator Hamilton. Senator Columbia. Senator Davis Cooper.
You remember that you were here finally.
Alright. Senator Ishki.
Aye.
Okay, Senator Gordon Connors. Oh, okay. Bear with me. Senator Gooch.
Wait, we have Sandra online, so is Sandra still on?
Senator.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
So, can I have a question, sorry?
Yes,
If she can vote, why was I supposed to be here?
because you need to be here for quorum. And if you are not here, we can't even get to vote. But when the voting takes place, the senator votes regardless of whether they are there or here.
That's fine. That's okay, sorry for the language.
Definitely not.
I know that I'm here to vote.
I
don't mind
understand, yes.
You both voted, so you always told the game.
Yes.
Senator Sendek. Senator Rogan. Okay, sorry. Okay. Senator O'Sullivan. Aye. Okay. Senator Robitaille. All right, Senator Keto.
Aye.
Okay, I missed a few people that's on the chat.
Yes.
Okay.
We have,
So I'm all the people that's on Zoom. Okay, to record their vote. Okay. Senator Isaacs.
Aye.
Senator Stradler.
Oh, no, I don't think Jared.
I'm not a
voted.
senator,
Okay,
no.
he's not a senator.
Sorry about
No.
that.
That's okay. Who else do, Lisa is here, so Senator Flores should be voting.
Okay, Senator Flores.
Aye.
It would be helpful if everyone renamed themselves senator. Or vote.
We have Sana's vote. Yes, we have that. I'm just,
Oh, again. Senator Alvacek.
Aye.
Senator Alvin?
Aye. Sorry, aye.
It's okay. Senator Upon?
Aye.
what she used to use, I don't know.
Senator Them. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Senator Downer. I think that's it.
So how many student votes do you have?
So I have 2, 3, 4, only 4.
So we should have Akeem,
Uh-huh,
Abir,
uh-huh.
Mahedi.
I don't have that.
Mahedi is online.
Okay, Senator Mahedi. Hassan. Senator Hassan.
No, it's okay. And then Esther and Michael. And Zahara. So Zahara is online as well.
Okay, Senator, I got Esther. Senator Tooby? Tube?
Senator Matube, Zahara, are you there with us? Okay. And is that it?
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna make the unusual statement of anybody online that we missed.
Did you get me, Jill?
Oh, Suman, did we get Suman?
No, you did not. Sorry,
I
Sumant.
think, oh, you know what I think? You might,
voting, you voting for me?
Suman should be voting instead of
sense.
Kia.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Suman, how do you vote?
No. No.
Suman,
Yeah.
what is your vote?
For the curriculum,
Yes.
aye.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so curriculum has passed. It was rough.
Yeah.
We made it. So there is, so for those of you who this is your first Senate meeting, it usually goes a little smoother than this, but we are all in roles today that we typically do not have. And we are learning an appreciation for the work that other people do in those roles. Christy, while you're enjoying yourself in Bangkok and I'm now sweating up here, I truly appreciate the organizational skills that she has. Thank you.
Uh-huh, you are.
I put on extra. Oh, that's recorded now. Okay, so, Lila is up next on, our agenda. The chair of the board after this.
Hi, everyone. Shall I get started?
Is that right? Are you ready?
I'm ready, yes.
Okay. Take
All
it
right.
away.
Welcome or thank you for having me, I should say. Sorry, I'm on Zoom right now, but I have my presentation ready. I have two items. One is an informational item and one is a policy change proposal. And I am, for those of you who don't know me yet, I am the chair of the Academic Standing Committee. And so that is my role as a participant in the Senate meetings. The informational item, I believe you have received the email from Christy, but I just want to let everyone know once again that as chair of Academic Standing Committee, I have been informed that the registrar has made a change in the academic calendar for spring 1 semester at the request of Student Affairs. This change affects our opening sessions. Opening sessions now will be on Wednesday, February 28th. And the change was to move it after the new student orientation, which is on February 27th. Previously, it was scheduled before the new student orientation, and the updated schedule is already online. So when you click on it, you will see the new schedule. So that was an informational item. And the second issue that I am here to discuss is modification to our academic forgiveness policy. So if I may, I would like to share my screen. I created a short, really very short presentation so that those of you who are not familiar with this policy will understand what we are talking about. Everyone can see my screen? Yes? Okay, great. Let me see if I can start. Let's see. Start slideshow, right? It's just a little bit nicer. Okay, great. So a little bit of background information about the academic forgiveness policy before I share the language. The academic forgiveness policy applies to students who have been dismissed from the college because of their GPA or have not been in attendance. Either way, their GPA is under 2.0. And they would like to be reinstated. They want to come back. And the academic forgiveness policy gives students a second chance. Some colleges call it second chance policy as well, or fresh start policy sometimes, where the students' F, W, and so on grades are forgiven and taken out of their GPA if they demonstrate that they can, be in good standing in the college after they get reinstated. But there are some rules to this policy, and the suggestion is related to these specific rules. So here is the language of the current policy. I will read it so that everyone understands. So this is how currently the policy goes. Students who have been dismissed from or have not been in attendance at the college for a period of at least 5 years and whose GPA is below 2.0 are able to be reinstated under the academic forgiveness policy. For students reinstated under this policy, pass grades of F, FIN, or WU will remain on their transcripts, but will not be calculated in their grade point averages. This policy gives students a second chance to complete their studies. Your eligibility for financial aid is determined by Student Financial Services in accordance with federal and state financial aid regulations. The academic forgiveness policy does not override financial aid regulations. Please speak to a financial aid specialist regarding your eligibility. And the note admissions or readmission into the clinical phase of allied health programs is not guaranteed under the academic forgiveness policy, regardless of the student's prior status in that program. Students must contact individual program offices for specific readmission policies. So this is the current policy, and the change we are proposing is relatively small and affects the waiting period that students have to wait before they can benefit from this policy. Before I move on to talk about the rationale, just very quickly, I want to also mention that based on what we have gathered from the registrar, this policy is automatically applied to eligible students at the end of their first semester after they receive the grade when they are reinstated. In other words, they have to demonstrate first that they can be in good standing before this policy is applied. And also they do not have to specifically, make a request or apply for this policy to be, calculated or applied to their grades. That is automatic. The registrar flags students who are eligible. All right, so Rochelle, go ahead.
Okay,
Uh,
two
yes.
things. One, why 5 years? It seems rather arbitrary as opposed to say 3 years. And is that continue with the new policy? And then how do students demonstrate that they can be in good standing?
Okay, so my next slide, if I can get out of this, here we go. If I may, I will talk about this and hopefully address the questions as well. Okay, so the initiative, and if I haven't addressed the question, Rochelle, then point it out again, okay? The initiative to change this policy came to us from the registrar's office. The 5 years, as you can tell, is a pretty long time to wait for a student after they're being dismissed or not being present at the college to apply for reinstatement and also benefit from the policy. Just for clarification, students can be reinstated before this time period, but they would not benefit from the policy of academic forgiveness. So what happens is that oftentimes students choose then to enroll at another college where they start, they can start with a clean state, or altogether just, give up on school rather than, wait for 5 years. So given the enrollment challenges as well that the college has been facing, reducing the wait time, which is what we are talking about, would also incentivize students to come back to LaGuardia rather than choose another college. Another reason why, changing this time period to a shorter wait time makes sense, because other CUNY colleges that, based on our research, already have shorter waiting periods. So for instance, John Jay has a 2-year waiting period, QCC has a 4 years, KCC has 3 years, Queens College has a 3-year a long waiting period before a similar policy can be applied to students. So the Academic Standing Committee discussed this issue. The proposal was to shorten the time. We have decided collectively that 3 years seems like a reasonable time where, that will give students enough time to kind of figure out really if, their lives and if they are ready to come back and commit themselves to school, but also not wait too long. So we were really weighing to see, that students, give students enough time to actually seriously think about this, right? Because if they come back and they're reinstated and they're dismissed again, they cannot enroll again at LaGuardia. That's the rule at every college, right? But then also not have them, wait, for 5 years, where there's a good chance to, that we will lose them either to another college or altogether to higher education. So based on our research and based on our discussion, we felt that a 3-year wait period would be more reasonable and equitable. So, Rochelle, did I answer the question, or there was something else as well?
You answered the first part, the 3 years is fine. I was just asking how then do students demonstrate that they can in fact be in good standing?
Very good question. Based on my understanding, the way students demonstrate is by, succeeding in the semester. So this policy is applied to them after they receive the grades in their first semester after being reinstated. In other words, they are reinstated in the college, they have to complete a semester, and then based on the grades that they receive, then the registrar decides whether they are eligible or not to benefit from this policy. Does that answer the question?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Sumant, I see your hand. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Leela. What's with the students who have below 2? and who are yeah,
So
not
who have been reinstated?
yeah.
Okay, so students who remain who are reinstated, but they cannot pull up their grade average are put on probation once again. And then there is a whole academic policy related to probation and how long a student can be on probation before they are dismissed. And if they are dismissed again from the college, as I said, they cannot be reinstated again. Does that answer the question?
Is there another question in the chat, Anthony?
No, my question was similar. That was it. That answered it.
Okay.
Okay, so the only change really that we are proposing here is to reduce the wait time from 5 years to 3 years, so that students have enough time to kind of really figure out if they their lives and if they are committed and coming back, but also not have them wait half a decade practically before they can benefit from this policy if they decide to come back. So that is the change that we are proposing. I'm going to stop sharing now, and I'm happy to answer any questions if there are other.
And you come back and you're back for the semester and you fail the semester, what is the wait time before they can come back and reapply to the college?
Can I hear that again? I'm sorry. It's hard for me to hear from the room. Ironically, it's easier from the Zoom.
So my question is that I've waited the 3 years and I'm coming back to school. I'm coming back and I did the first semester and I failed this semester and I do not meet the criteria of the college. What is my wait period before I can be reinstated back to school?
So this is the similar question to Suman's question. So what happens, my understanding is, if a student comes back, waited, right, the 3 years, comes back, but does not succeed and does not meet the threshold of 2.0, in other words, the student is not in good standing, they are then newly put on academic probation. And then if they are on academic probation, the academic probation policy applies. If they are, I think it's 2 consecutive semesters, but it's a little bit complicated with our calendar of how it exactly works. If they are again on academic probation and they get dismissed again, they cannot come. Only 2 times can a student be dismissed from the college. They cannot reapply, which is why we do have this waiting period. Of course, a student can be reinstated before that. They do not have to wait. But if they are not waiting for the number of years that is in the policy, they will not be eligible for this policy, right? So then they, they can do really well, raise their GPA, be in a good standing, but the previously earned credits and grades will stay in their GPA. That is the difference.
I have a follow-up question.
Okay, another question, Lucy?
Yeah, so if, let's say, the student consumed the 2 times and cannot be coming in the college, what about CUNY-wide? Can he or she apply to any other colleges in CUNY?
Okay, I don't have a definite answer. I believe they can, but I do not have a definite answer for that. Loretta's saying yes, so maybe she can help me out with this. I have not looked specifically into this issue.
Yeah.
If
All right,
I
let's hear
can,
from Loretta.
hi, so if a student comes back and they're a candidate for this forgiveness policy and they do not succeed in that semester, if they are subject to dismissal, they're done. They don't get another term. So they have to be successful. Their cumulative GPA doesn't need to be over a 2.0 because it depends on how low it was, but they have to be successful in their return semester. To the question about, can you go to any other CUNY college? Any CUNY college that you qualify for, you can go to. And all communities are committed the same in the fact that we're open and we do take students who are not successful at previous institutions. Some of the comprehensive 4 years are allow it as well, others do not. So, you know, the Stellar, Baruch, Brooklyn City will not take someone who's failed out of a previous institution. In general, there's always exceptions, but the community colleges will.
Thank you for clarifying that, Loretta. That was my understanding too, but the specifics. Yes, Rochelle, right?
I'm sorry, just one last thing.
Yes.
I was just wondering why 3 years versus 2 years? That's all.
So 2 years versus 3 years came up, and so this the committee did discuss this. The reason why we thought that 3 years would be more reasonable is because it you know, the committee's consensus was that 2 years is potentially too short a time period for somebody to really kind of understand where they are in life, because oftentimes these students really kind of have to figure out larger questions, right, related whether to you know, financial stability, housing, income, and also whether they are really ready to take college on. And so the committee members felt that 2 years might be not quite enough time. And again, if a student comes back and fails again, LaGuardia cannot take them back again. So we thought that the window of 3 years is potentially you know, a more reasonable window for a student to really kind of figure out where they are standing. Also, based on other colleges, it looks like 3 seems to be more common than 2. So those were really the reasons that we decided that we would like to propose 3 years rather than 2.
Okay, thank you.
Loretta, is your hand up again?
Yes, thank you. Was there any conversation, Lila, about additional interventions being a requirement? Before we had the forgiveness policy, guys, I've been here that long, we used to have probate, it wasn't policy, but we had practice for probation and dismissal that prior to a student being able to reinstate, they had to meet with an advisor. Actually, at that point in time, it was counselors, and they had to attend a counseling or probation workshop so that they were fully aware. I agree with lessening the 5-year time. I always thought that was high. But I feel just by using a calendar, it's insufficient. So whether or not it's in the policy or if it's a practice that the college adopts, maybe through advising or the wellness center or something, but it's a recommendation in that if we really want them to be successful, we look for ways that help them be successful. Taking down the 5-year obstacle is a good start, but probably not sufficient for our students who really need to address those life situations.
That's a great point, Loretta. I'm wondering, I'm just going to ask this question back then, that your suggestion might be in a way more appropriate to be applied to all reinstatements after the dismissal, right? Not only specifically. So this particular policy is kind of in addition to reinstatement, right? It's a second chance for some students who are waiting this time period to kind of figure it out and who also succeed. But when it comes to overall reinstatement, you know, I could take that to the committee to see if we, you know, want to address potentially, you know, the reinstatement policy and maybe add a note or, you know, discuss this issue. Would you agree with that?
Thank you. Yeah, I believe academic standing would be the appropriate place. Again, in addition to this, not in place of this.
Okay, great. Yes, I'll take that to the committee and we'll discuss it. Yes,
I just want to call attention to Leslie's comment in the chat, because I think it's important that Loretta's point is not necessarily about the policy, but about the implementation of the policy. So it's not necessarily germane to the vote. But it is something that Lila can take forward, back to, academic standing committee to pursue further.
Also, it would apply to a different policy, actually, because it would be the reinstatement, related to reinstatement in general, not this particular policy.
Thank you.
Leslie, you had a question?
Not a question. I would just like to move that we approve the proposal for the academic forgiveness policy as presented by academic standing.
We have one more question on the floor. Should I go to the motion or should I have that? Nope.
Motion
Nope.
on the floor.
Motion on the floor. Okay, we have a motion to approve the academic forgiveness policy.
I second.
We have a second.
I second.
Now we can
So we
Pro-
pro con,
pro con the
and
motion.
I get first right of first refusal.
Would you like to exercise that right?
I would. I'm voting, I would like to vote or pro the policy. It seems like academic standing has done their research and really considered this very student focused. I also like the considerations for implementation, but that's at another time. So
We lost, nope. Last sentence, Leslie, we lost you a little bit on that last sentence.
I'm in favor of the motion.
All right. Anybody else like to speak in favor or against the motion?
I'd like to say something. I think it benefits our students and therefore I think it's worth promoting, going forward with it.
All right, so the one remaining question is what type of vote do we need for this?
So normally it's a voice vote unless someone calls division and wants to institute another vote.
So unless anybody says anything, we can do a voice vote. Okay, so all in favor of the motion to approve the academic forgiveness policy as presented? Say aye.
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 All opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. All right, thank you guys.
Okay, thanks so much, everyone. I'll
Thank
be
you,
back
Lila.
most likely with other stuff. Is it
All
okay
right.
if I leave now? Since I don't have anything else to
You
report.
don't have anything for the committee reports, so that's fine. Thank you, Lila.
This is all there is. Thank you so
for staying
much.
this long. Thank you. All right, we avoided another roll call vote, which is always different. Okay, so I have a brief chair's report. Much shorter than Christie's usually is because she is in tune with many more things at this college than I am. She's privy to a lot more. But first I have a brief thank you from Christie to those of you who responded to the Senate attendance survey. 31 people responded. There were supposed to be 24 people coming in person today. And we need 19 for quorum, so it is very important that people come. We had a few people who were unable to come that said they were going to come because of weather and illness, to no fault of theirs, but it is very important that we try and come, and if we cannot come, to ask our alternate to come, because otherwise we can't have a meeting. With that said, of the 31 people that responded to the survey, only 21 said that they can come in February. So I'm putting a warning out there that 21 is dangerously close to 19. And for our scheduled February 7th meeting, if you cannot come, please try to make arrangements with your alternate to come in person, so that we can have the meeting and conduct business. I do, actually, Lila just left, but this is important for other reasons as well. At our last meeting, Lila raised a question about whether the academic standing committee was subject to the open meetings law. And she was uncertain if their meetings had to be open to the public, and if so, how they should send out invitations inviting people to their meetings. And in our last Senate meeting, Christie said she would follow up with the legal department. Maria, I don't know if you're still on Zoom. I know Sabine just headed out. But Christie consulted with legal, and the determination is that the Senate body as a whole is the only body that makes policy. And therefore, we are subject to the open meetings law. But as the academic standing committee and other committees underneath the Senate are just recommending policy, they are not subject to the open meetings law, and therefore they do not need, or they are not required to have open meetings. So yes, they are drafting potential policies, but they bring them here as recommendations. We value their recommendations and their hard work, but we are the place that approves and makes policy. So we have to have our meetings be open, while for those other committees, they do not have to have their meetings be open and subject to open meetings law. They are more than welcome to invite people and open their meetings if they so wish, but they do not have to. So that is legal's interpretation. And then the last item for the chair's report are some changes to the Senate roster. So we have a student senator who had to step down. Student Senator Shante Ortega had to step down. She will be replaced by Student Senator Sojung Sim. So I don't know if she is online, but we welcome her. No, that's Esther Sim, same last name. As master of the Senate roster, I've learned names better than most. So I don't know anybody's faces, but around the hallways, I know all of your names. So she will be taking a new seat as a senator. She is also the chair of the Committee of Students. So her on that. We also have some new alternate senators filling in previously vacant seats. So I think we mentioned this at the last meeting, but Regina Varon Mignano from Student Affairs, Kia just walked out of the room, but he is the new alternate for Humanities. And Sada, who has joined us thankfully online, is the new alternate for Business and Technology. So we are continuing to try and fill in our alternate seats to make sure that we have representation across the college and for a quorum. And the last thing is that we had a senator need to step down this semester. And that senator is also on the executive committee. So you will see here that we have as the next item in our agenda that the Senate's executive committee needs to have a vacancy replacement election. So congratulations, I guess, sort of, to Shannon, who will be stepping in. Well, I didn't congratulations, like, we had a senator step down, so you got to do congratulations anyway. So Shannon will be taking over. He will be moving from alternate to full senator, filling in a seat for Jamie Riccio, who, because of some personal issues, had to take a step back. And since Jamie was on our executive committee, we now need to have another round of very thrilling elections to fill that seat. So once the Senate roster is fully updated, it's almost there, we will replace the new Senate roster, which is available on the College Senate website. So there are some names that are still missing. If you are a newly appointed alternate, we'll add your name and contact information there soon. So next item on the agenda is the election for a new member of the executive committee. Currently, we have Christy as our chair. I am the vice chair, and we have Janice as our secretary. We have Douglas serving as an at-large member. And we have two students, Aaliyah and Abim, who are on the executive committee, and now we have one more at-large seat that is vacant. I see Leslie's hand up. Leslie? Yes.
Oh, sorry, I was just getting up for nominations.
Oh, now you didn't let me finish. Goodness. No. So I do want to say one thing before we do nominations, but I will, well, a couple of things. First, I'm going to need ballots. And I'm going to need a favor from somebody who is willing to do the teller's report. Any interested party? Numbers on a form. Has anybody here done the teller's report? I've not done it.
for Senate, I've done it for the party.
Well, then I'm nominating you. I think usually Patricia does, but Patricia is not, oh, okay. So there's one seat, and the last announcement I will say about the, seat is that the requirements of the position are that we typically meet on Mondays, the week before the Senate meeting. So we have a meeting today on the 10th. So our executive committee meeting was on January 2nd. It was a Tuesday because we took a day off, but usually it's on a Monday. It's from 3:30 to 5 is on Zoom. So that is the time availability. So for every Senate meeting, there is an executive committee meeting to plan for the Senate meeting. So you would need to be available the Monday, the week before the Senate meeting from the 3:30 to 5 time slot. It's open to faculty or staff. And there is no experience necessary to join the executive committee. And it is a one-year term. So now I will open the floor for nominations. Leslie.
Sorry about that, going through rural Pennsylvania. I'd like to nominate Anthony Pappas for the position.
Anthony, do you accept?
Sure, I'll do it. I'm interested.
More enthusiastic, please, Anthony.
Well, I ran before. So, I've served before. I'll do it again.
Do we have any, so Anthony has accepted the nomination. Do we have any other nominations? You can self-nominate if you want. Online, anybody? Okay. Okay, so now the headache begins. Nominations are now closed. The headache begins. I'm gonna hand out paper ballots here. I have a Zoom poll that I will have to release on here. Did you know that was please, on the ballot, we need the date. The ballot number is 1. The position is at-large member of the executive committee. And it requires, if you are a voting senator. So if you are a voting senator, you need a ballot.
See, I do.
Yes.
P-A-N-T-H-O-N-Y. Pappas is capital P-A-P-P-A-S.
Okay. I vote. Wait, you vote. At the end, I think. Again, the date, the ballot number is 1, the position is at large. We have candidate Anthony Pappas. If you would like to write in a candidate, you may. Is the online poll working correctly? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Michelle. At large is fine. At large is the position.
I was trying to go.
Yeah.
This will be ballot number one,
At large.
at large position. Thank you, Diane. I will select this one. Oh, here. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wait, I missed. Oh, no. Uh-huh. It's 19, but I'm trying to figure out how many votes we're supposed to have in person versus how many votes we're supposed to have online. So. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought we're supposed to have 18 votes in person. Can you raise your hand if you voted in this room? No, we have 19. You have 19 here?
The beans all left, remember.
I voted.
Did you vote on a piece of paper?
Yeah, probably Sandra has the right to vote, sorry, you
Exactly.
gave me
We
the
have an
paper,
extra
so I
vote. So we
voted.
need-
So don't.
Okay, now what do we do? Somebody voted who was not supposed to
No,
vote.
I think that's
We-
The safest
Yes.
way is to redo because well, if you know who it is, they should have signed their name on the back and you can just declare that vote an illegal vote.
Am I gonna get in trouble for that, or is that not Robert friendly?
You're going to get in so much trouble for that.
We're reporting you after the meeting.
So what I do now, we're.
Figure it out.
Yeah, I signed it, so you can.
Oh, that's right. Take it out.
You're
Okay. Okay, and then we have
It doesn't affect the number.
7 votes online.
You'd be surprised.
I should have written my name there.
Yeah.
It doesn't count anyway.
Looks like a B or B.
Oh, then we go.
Is this your signature?
Correct.
Correct, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Take that one out. Take that one out.
That was section 19 then.
Yeah.
I know, but I'll do it.
As a former alternate, I understand.
Okay, I don't know, you guys do it, but I just have so much other things to do.
So 18 was count. I got that, yes. So,
Yeah, but I don't think she's like, I don't know. I don't
Keep out the time until you white load is great.
That's my version.
Right? And have a caffeine.
Said we need a like with that as well. It should work, but-
I have a proposal for the future though. We should make the voting online for everybody.
18, exactly.
The forum here, yes, but the voting online. That's why I'm going to be.
Leslie, is it, majority is +1? What's,
yep.
if we
Mo-
have 25?
more than 19.
votes?
It's more
Yeah.
than 19.
More than 19, okay, so the number for majority would be more than 19. Okay, all that complication for congratulations, Anthony. We have 25 votes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Anthony, for your willingness to serve. Thank you again. We will see you Monday. We get rid of this.
Just sharing it for the person.
Oh, I didn't see, sorry.
Voting is by a secret ballot, so Zoom doesn't meet the need for an online vote. Yeah. It would be secret. If we voted on via Zoom, it would not be a secret ballot.
Yes. Yes.
We just don't have a retention for a voting in Zoom. That's the problem. So we don't have a way to retain the individuality of the secret ballot. If Zoom beefed up its online voting, we could use it.
Got it. Okay, thank you. I think it saves as a part of my Zoom, so I can save the record.
I believe to either take either name or not.
Yeah, so I set the polls up in advance because I panicked that I wouldn't know how to set up a poll. This is how most of your professors are operating here. And so I set it up in advance, but it just had blanks for names, so I just filled it in. Okay, committee reports. We've gotten through the business now. Committee reports, committee on committees, Leslie.
No Senate action required.
Okay, thank you. Curriculum, we approved our curriculum items for today. Academic standing, we had Lila here already today. We thank Lila for coming. Committee on campus affairs. Anthony.
No report, except that we did have a meeting in December. We should be meeting soon again to discuss the policies that we've been looking at.
Committee of faculty.
So we do have a meeting tonight after this meeting. If you did not receive the email for the Zoom link, please let someone know and we'll send you the link in the past. And just briefly, our last meeting, we discussed a little bit on transfer. We discussed some safety issues and the coach survey as well. If you have not discussed the coach survey in your department, please do so. It is vital for us. So please do that.
The Committee on Professional Development. Derek. Derek still here? We lost Derek? He was here. No?
Yeah, I think you checked it. What's his last name?
Sadler,
Yeah, I
Derek,
think
Derek
so.
was here, maybe, okay, we'll keep scanning the crowd to see if Derek pops in. He did not submit a report, but he was here for the earliest part, for most of the meeting so far, so, okay, thank you. And then we have budget and finance, and Patricia is not here. Does anybody on budget and finance wanna give an update, or? We'll just let it pass. The Committee of Staff and Alumni, Denise and Karam.
So we have a meeting in 2 weeks, from Monday, so we don't have to report anything for a while.
Okay. Committee of Students,
We made the wish list,
great.
so I think I shared with the posted.
Mhm.
We are supposed to get feedback from you guys today.
Today. That's what I heard. We have homework. Do you have your wish list? Did you want to present it to us now, or do you want to? I'm not gonna make you do anything that you don't want to do. I mean, if you have your wish list, you can, I guess, share it with us today if you'd like to postpone and we can read it in February. Or I guess you can send it via email to senators and ask for feedback, whatever the Committee of Students is comfortable with.
All right, I will send your email right now.
Okay. Or if you want to consult with the rest of the students after today and ask how you guys want to proceed, if you want to have time on the agenda to talk about things here, we can make time in the agenda to go over your wish list and get feedback. Or if you guys don't think that's necessary, we can do a feedback online, whatever you folks think is best to meet your needs.
I mean, I think everybody wants to do it on via email, right? Yeah, so probably doing that first. I mean, it's just feedback, so we can just get any comment and that will work.
Okay.
Let's get a feedback.
You know what? I'll talk to you after the meeting. You don't have to send it out now. I'll help you because there's quite a long list of emails for it to go out to. And there is a Senate email account that we could use to make that easier for you. So we'll handle that after the meeting, but keep an eye out for an email coming, looking for feedback from our students about their wish list. So thank you for your update. Committee on Elections, we have a vacancy at chair. Nope. Committee on Elections is looking for a new chair, it looks like. I guess Surratt has stepped down. Committee on Elections has always been looking for membership, so I guess the Committee on Committees will be involved in that as well. But we will.
And your
move on to-
parliamentarian.
Yeah, that's true, very true. Well, Erica would like to know what about the parliamentarian.
We need to be, we're looking at the elections overall and trying to streamline process.
Yeah, I talked to, this is a private discussion, but I talked to Patricia about that. Yeah.
We have the transfer committee. Did I see you soon there? Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. As we know, transfer has been a hot topic at the college, and in late December, so the committee, we've been talking about what's realistic for faculty to support. We know faculty are supposed to support in transfer conversations, and we're just thinking about the granular, okay, so what exactly do we think as a committee that's devoted to thinking about the faculty's role in transfer, what's realistic? What are those granular things we think faculty could contribute to in the conversation? And we came up with a report. We have specific things we think. And I think I see the provost is here. I think the leadership would be receptive to these suggestions, and we wrote a report and we shared it with Christy. Christy advised us to share it with the Transfer Council. I'm one of the co-chairs of the Transfer Council, so that's convenient. So we'll share it with the council, and then we're also going to share it with the provost and the leadership. But we just wanted to make sure we shared it with Christy first, and we were going through all the right procedures, but we have something in line. Yeah, so that's it.
Thank you. Food insecurity, justice, and community need. I don't know, I saw Rebecca here. Anybody? No Rebecca? IT advisory committee. Do we have Jamie or Ian here on Zoom? I haven't monitored the. No? Okay. History committee, Loretta, do you have an update for us?
Yes, I'm sorry, I keep muting myself. No, I don't actually have an update except for the fact that I'm gonna be stepping down. I have to speak with Charles to find out if he wants to be sole chair or if we're gonna come back to Senate. So.
Well, thank you for serving, Loretta. Thank you.
So,
Yes.
Charles sent me text. And to let the committee know that Liv Easy, EEAZY. Her title is Research Assistant, Institutional Archives in the Library Media Center. Will also be assisting with interviews.
Okay. Can you say her name one more time?
Sure. So first name is Ellen Weaver. And her last name is EEAZY. And her title is Research Assistant, Institutional Archives in the Library Media Research. What interview is this for? These are.
I'll get, so,
Loretta can tell you more about that.
Loretta, do you want to fill in some people? I don't think, your committee has given an update in a little while, and some people are not familiar with the work that you guys have started already. So can you give us a little summary?
Sure. Sumantha's on the committee with us. It was a small group. Hugo, Fernanda, the idea was to talk with people with a lot of knowledge at the college and experience, and to capture them either in writing or radio interview or video. And I believe, produced 3. We looked for volunteers. We also did outreach to people specifically. We missed a couple that we kept saying we were going to get to and we didn't. So the intent is good. The unfortunately, our execution has not been as successful as we would have liked. So yeah, we're looking for people who've been here a while, even people who've gone but are still in touch, to talk about what LaGuardia was, and honestly, Senate. This really was an outgrowth of the Senate revision, the governance plan revision committee, because we were looking at why did we do certain things, and it grew. But it really is to put a historical context on our development and growth.
Thank you, Rebecca. So yes, so this is the governance plan revision process, which was several years in the making, led to many questions about why previous senates and Senate chairpersons did what they did. What was the context in which those decisions were made? Some of those people that made those decisions were still around on campus and had incredible amounts of knowledge that we would like them to share. So Loretta and some of the other folks that joined her have had an idea that we should capture this information so that when we go through future governance plan revision processes or even approving policies here on the Senate floor, we would have more of an understanding about what our Senate has done in the past. There are a list of senators who have served for quite a number of years, and we want to capture that knowledge. So hopefully the work that Loretta started and Charles is continuing to do will be a big part in getting that information to the rest of us who are here, who don't have all of that institutional knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, so Charles has identified someone to a volunteer to carry out some more interviews. We would be able to update you at the next meeting.
All right, thank you, Simone. We have Sandra, Online Learning Committee.
Hi, so with the in-service training committee, several of us will be hosting a professional development for faculty on February 1st, and it will be focusing on encouraging online participation. And that's all.
Senate Assessment and Review Committee, back to Leslie.
No Senate action needed.
Okay, thank you. And our advising council, Jeannie is not here today, again, to my knowledge. No. Okay, so that finishes our committee reports, unless there's somebody online that I just haven't noticed in the participant list, I missed. Unless Derek has signed back in, we are unfinished business, which we do not have. Any new business? Any new business? Announcements. No announcements? All right, I'm not gonna prolong
Can
this
it be from
anymore.
somebody who's not in the Senate?
Yeah, well, we have Margaret here, and then I'll let you go, Hugo. Margaret.
Just an announcement, for the, seen an email come out from Evelyn, but, events is now on a new booking system. It's called Foursquare. Please ask everyone, if you didn't attend one of the workshops, there is a booklet that if you want, you can reach out to me and I can send you a booklet with a page turner as a how-to if you didn't have the time to come and attend one of them. Thank you. It is not. It is, I tried to make it as simple as a Google. It asks a question, you give an answer, and then the next question and an answer. If you booked the parameters, the course is institutional, so we had to take what we wanted as an event program and make it fit into course growth, and I think it worked very well.
Yes, I attended the session. It was great.
Yes.
Actually, I would send you a study to your
Thank you. But it is very simple to, it's a question and answer, that's basically all it is.
Do you have a question?
I just want to ask if you record the session, but I guess the booklet will do.
I do not, we did not record, it was.
Okay, no need to.
I'm sorry?
There are multiple sessions, right?
There
No,
was
the
one
unit
today
is
at
the
3 that that's why everyone's not here, so
Okay.
she said, you gotta go, I said, no, I told Christy I was gonna be here in person. So she's doing the online one, and I believe there is a Friday session.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Oh.
I believe so, yes. So I would just say, if you do book rooms, or you just wanna understand how to, just, again, and if not, just email me and I'll send you a book.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Hugo, did you have an announcement?
question, since all the people who are in the know are in this meeting here. Who's on this transfer council? Because I went looking for it on the website and couldn't find anything about it. So where does one go about finding out who's on this transfer council that the president spoke of in closing sessions?
So the transfer council is co-chaired by Julianne Salazar and myself. And I can send you the membership list.
Awesome.
There are many
I watch it on my
people.
radio show.
There are many people great, yeah. There are many people on this call who are a part of the council. Loretta is, you have some other people. So yeah, I can send you a list if you want. You just need to email me and I'll be happy to send that to you. The website is in a state of, it's better than what it was. It's still not where it needs to be for the transfer services. And we're in discussion with marketing about updating it. It's a process. So we're aware it's incomplete, but if you have any questions about the council, you can email Julianne or myself.
Masoon Doko?
Yeah, Misan.
Okay, Nissan, sorry, Nissan.
No worries.
I will email you. Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else?
Derek got back to me.
Okay.
He said he'll send, the notes and to you.
All right. Sounds good. So then, in decent timing, a frazzled start, but decent timing, I'm adjourning the meeting at 3:46. We did it, we did quorum. We did it on time. Our next meeting, February 7th. Again, only 21 people said they would be here in person. So let's not make the commute for naught. I'm gonna breathe now. No. You know, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm not teaching for how many years? But like,
There.